one thing before we start talking nip and spring is that this nip and spring, we are familiar with the spring season. So these are not actually seasons. So when you hear spring, it's not referring to spring season that we know. Okay, they are just referring to times within the month when the moon and the earth are positioned in certain ways. I will show you more of that in a moment. So in a month, there are two nip and two spring tides. Okay, and one other thing we need to note is that we need to actually uh, know is that it takes the moon about 28 to 29 days, about 1 month, to make a complete rotation, or I should call it, it revolves around the earth. So it takes about 1 month for it to go around the earth and make one complete cycle. And in that time, the moon will be aligned with the sun twice. Like the moon, the sun, and the earth will be in a straight line twice, and it will be at 90 degrees with the sun and the earth twice. So what this is saying is that in a month, the moon attains a straight line orientation with the sun and the earth twice in a month, and during those periods we have the strongest tidal force on the earth and its body of water, and that's when we have the highest tide in most areas. Okay, and again, it also attains a 90-degree orientation between itself, that's the moon, the sun, and the earth twice in a month, and those periods are called the neap periods or neap tides. And during those periods, we have the lowest amount of or the lowest tidal range during the neap period. So again, this is going back to our earlier sketch that kind of shows what these different tidal cycles are, and the corresponding amount of tidal range. So during the spring tidal cycles, we have the highest high tide and the low tide. That means the tidal range during the spring cycle is maximum compared to the tidal range you have during the neap cycle.